to Saturday Social. We are joined by Flav, Luca and Faisal. OK, Joe, time to draw our attention to the Champions League because the round of 16 kicks off this week. I'm very excited about it, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got Faisal and we've got Luca, two European football watchers in the studio. So we are going to today build out basically the best player in each position for the remaining Champions League clubs. You guys are going to be in charge of this. You've both brought an 11 to the table, but remember there's only 16 clubs you can select from as well.
That's important,
16 remaining sides in this competition.
In this discussion from Sky Sports, show Saturday Social, the panel begins debating the best 11 from the remaining clubs in the UEFA Champions League round of 16. They first focus on the goalkeeper position, where there is immediate disagreement. One side argues that Gianluigi Donnarumma has been outstanding this season with crucial saves and match-winning performances for Paris Saint-Germain. The other side strongly supports Thibaut Courtois, highlighting how important he has been for Real Madrid, saving numerous big chances and keeping the team competitive despite injuries and difficult matches. The debate eventually shifts to which goalkeeper you would trust more in a Champions League final, showing how closely matched both keepers are.
Flav, you're going to have the deciding vote over any disagreements.
Yes. So we have a reminder of the teams left in it. So this is a reminder of the round of 16 ties. So as we said, plenty of elite teams left and plenty of players for you to choose from when you're selecting your team. Some massive ties coming up, aren't there? 6 English teams left in it, and as you can see, it's very heavily weighted.
Now that's a really interesting debate from the Sky Sports panel. Because when you talk about the best goalkeeper left in the Champions League, the conversation almost always comes down to 2 names, Gianluigi Donnarumma or Thibaut Courtois. Both of these goalkeepers have been absolutely massive for their teams this season. Donnarumma has been a huge presence for Paris Saint-Germain, making crucial saves in big moments and proving why he's considered one of the most dominant shot stoppers in European football right now. His performances in the Champions League especially have shown that when PSG are under pressure, he's often the one keeping them alive in the game. But on the other side, you simply cannot ignore Thibaut Courtois. For Real Madrid, he's been the definition of reliability. When Madrid are facing wave after wave of attacks, Courtois is the player who steps up. We've seen it time and time again in big European nights. Huge saves, calm presence, and the ability to deliver when the stakes are at their highest.
On the left-hand side, obviously the likes of Madrid, City, Bayern, Chelsea and Liverpool, all on that side. I think the only team on the right-hand side, Joe, to have recently been in a Champions League final were Tottenham, actually, interestingly. So, should we get cracking with the debate?
Goodness me.
got to try.
Had to get
some
that in there,
sort of positivity, clutching wherever we can.
And that's really what makes this debate so difficult. If you're looking purely at form this season, you can absolutely make the case for Donnarumma. His reflexes, his size, and the way he dominates the penalty area make him incredibly difficult to beat. But if we're talking about the biggest stage, a Champions League final, many fans would still trust Courtois. He's already delivered legendary performances in this competition, and when Real Madrid need a hero in goal, he has proven he can be that player. So honestly, this is one of those debates where there's no clear wrong answer. Both goalkeepers are world-class. Both are match winners. And whichever one you choose, it probably comes down to one simple question. Do you value current form or a proven Champions League experience?
I mean, they're both great arguments. I'd just go for recency bias and having watched Donnarumma single-handedly give PSG the win last year. I'm just going to pick Donnarumma. Apologies.
Okay. Good pick, Flav has spoken, Joe.
I'm really not the best person
Don't put yourself down.
That's some Premier League bias right there.
In this part of the discussion on Sky Sports Saturday Social, the panel continues building the best 11 from the remaining teams in the UEFA Champions League. After settling the goalkeeper debate with Gianluigi Donnarumma getting the final vote, they move to the right-back position, where there is strong agreement on Reece James. The panel highlights his all-round quality, versatility, and strong performances for Chelsea this season despite past injury concerns. The debate then shifts to center-backs, where one side argues for Dayot Upamecano due to his consistency for Bayern Munich, while the other side believes William Saliba is the better defender overall because of his composure and defensive partnership at Arsenal. The discussion focuses on defensive records, consistency, and how much support each defender gets within their team structure.
Right back.
Right back.
And there's an agreement on right back.
There is.
I've gone with Reece James.
Was anybody close to picking Hakimi here?
Hakimi?
I was.
He's
If
been
this
injured.
was just based on UCL performances, though, I would have gone Hakimi because Reece James has played predominantly in the midfield in the Champions League. But combining league performances,
yeah, it's a good point. We're basing this on
Both,
season-wide performance, so
exactly.
league form and Champions League form, worth pointing out.
After the goalkeeper debate was settled with Gianluigi Donnarumma getting the nod, the conversation moves into the defensive positions, and this is where things start to get really interesting. First up is the right-back role, and here the panel actually finds some rare agreement. Reece James is the name that stands out. When he's fit and playing regularly, there's a strong argument that he's one of the most complete fullbacks in world football. His ability to defend one-on-one, his physical strength, and especially his quality going forward make him a huge asset for Chelsea. What's also interesting is how versatile he is. We've seen him play not only at right back, but also in midfield at times, which really highlights his football intelligence and technical quality. And despite the injury concerns that have followed him in previous seasons, this campaign he's actually been much more available for Chelsea, which has allowed him to show just how important he is to the team. But once the discussion moves to center backs, the debate really heats up. One side of the argument focuses on Dayot Upamecano at Bayern Munich. The case here is about consistency.
He's been injured. Hakimi's been injured for a couple of months, but Reece James has been Chelsea's, with Cole Palmer being out with injury and lack of form. Reece James has been the best player. I think.
And also, the Reece James, obviously, the thing that is always spoken about Reece James is his availability and his injury situation. But he's actually had 39 appearances this season, which is the most in any of his last.
Over the past couple of seasons, he's developed into a much more reliable defender. And this year in particular, he's been a key part of Bayern's defensive structure. Bayern's strong defensive record shows just how important his performances have been. On the other hand, there's a strong push for William Saliba from Arsenal. And honestly, it's easy to see why. Saliba has become one of the most composed young defenders in Europe. His positioning, calmness on the ball, and ability to read the game make him incredibly difficult to beat. Alongside Gabriel, he's formed one of the most solid center-back partnerships in football. So when you compare the two, it becomes a classic debate. Do you value the defensive consistency that Upamecano brings to Bayern Munich, or the composure and partnership that Saliba has built at Arsenal? And as the Champions League knockout stage continues, performances from defenders like these could end up being just as decisive as the goals scored at the other end of the pitch.
Barcelona look, but when he does play, how good Barcelona look, he is. Honestly speaking, like if you love football, Pedri's the guy, man.
Football purist, isn't he, Pedri?
He's amazing. I love him.
He's so good.
Please join
I agree with Faisal, man. He's the best midfielder in the world. And I tweeted this when they were playing Athletic the other day. I don't think I've...
In this segment of the Sky Sports Saturday social discussion, the panel continues building their best 11 from the remaining teams in the UEFA Champions League. After settling earlier defensive debates, they move to the left-back position, where there is complete agreement that Nuno Mendes of Paris Saint-Germain is currently the best left-back in the world, with a clear quality gap between him and other contenders. The conversation then shifts to midfield. Declan Rice is praised as one of the best box-to-box midfielders and a crucial player for Arsenal, with some suggesting he could even enter Ballon d'Or discussions if Arsenal win major trophies. The panel also highlights Pedri as a world-class midfielder whose intelligence, vision, and technical ability make him essential for Barcelona. Finally, another midfield debate emerges between Vitinha of PSG and Dominik Szoboszlai of Liverpool, focusing on their influence, versatility, and consistency this season.
Ever seen him lose possession? Like, genuinely, his ball manipulation, his press resistance capabilities are just of the highest standard. And then when you combine that with his football IQ, his weight of pass, his vision, he's just so good. Like, you can't look at numbers to define Pedri. It's literally poetry in motion.
Yeah, I agree. One of the best performances this season, I think, was when he went to Newcastle and there was the chat of, the physicality of that Newcastle midfield.
So after sorting out most of the defensive positions, the conversation now shifts to the rest of the team. And honestly, this is where the quality across Europe really starts to show. Let's start with the left-back role, because here the panel didn't even hesitate. Nuno Mendes was the clear choice. And when you look at his performances for Paris Saint-Germain over the past couple of seasons, it's hard to argue against that. He's one of those modern fullbacks who can do absolutely everything. Explosive pace, strong defensively, and incredibly dangerous going forward. What makes Mendes stand out even more is the gap between him and other left-backs right now. There are good players in that position across Europe, but very few offer the same balance between attack and defense that he does. Moving into midfield, though, the debate becomes much more interesting. First, there's Declan Rice. For Arsenal this season, he's been absolutely massive. The energy he brings to midfield, the defensive work he does, and the way he drives the team forward make him one of the most complete midfielders in the game right now. Performances like the one against Bayern Munich in the Champions League show exactly why Arsenal invested so heavily in him.
He's going over it, and it was just like Pedri.
Yeah.
But he dropped, that's a normal Pedri performance.
Yeah, the amount of games he's played at the age, I think he's 23. Yeah. The amount of games he's played at this level, it's like he's an experienced player already for a very young player. But he's brilliant player. Has to be in this team.
We've disagreed here.
Okay.
So yeah,
first?
My logic was I just want.
And if Arsenal were to win the Premier League and go deep in Europe, don't be surprised if Rice starts appearing in serious individual award conversations as well. Then you have Pedri from Barcelona, and honestly, he's a completely different type of midfielder. While Rice brings power and engine, Pedri brings pure football intelligence. His ability to control the tempo of a match, resist pressure, and find the perfect pass is something special. Watching him play sometimes feels effortless, like the game just slows down around him. But the final midfield debate is also a fascinating one. Vitinha or Dominik Szoboszlai. Vitinha has been the heartbeat of PSG's midfield, dictating play and contributing with goals and assists. Everything flows through him when PSG are playing at their best. Meanwhile, Szoboszlai has been incredibly versatile and influential for Liverpool, contributing in multiple roles and showing just how complete his midfield game has become. And when you're building a Champions League best 11, these are exactly the kinds of debates that make football so interesting.
Yeah, we did.
There is. But then if you look, if you make an argument, Mbappe, some of his goals, 50% of his goals, has come when he started on the left-hand side. So that's not really cheating. It's just being honest. But Mbappe, I mean, I mentioned.
I'll admit to the cheating. I'll admit to that one.
In the final part of the Sky Sports Saturday social debate, the panel continues selecting the attacking players for their best 11 from the remaining teams in the UEFA Champions League. The discussion begins with the right wing position, where Lamine Yamal receives huge praise for his incredible performances and development, with some panelists even claiming he could already be the best player in the world. They also acknowledge the strong contributions of Michael Ollis. On the left wing, the panel highlights the importance of Kylian Mbappé for Real Madrid, pointing out that he has contributed to a huge percentage of the team's goals this season, while also mentioning other attacking players like Luis Diaz. Finally, the debate ends with the striker position, where the panel compares Erling Haaland and Harry Kane, discussing their goal records, penalties, league difficulty, and overall impact for their teams this season.
I mentioned earlier about Thibaut. It's been him and Madrid. We are where we are right now due to them. Thibaut doing what he did as a goalkeeper, and Mbappe, he's contributed 73% of Real Madrid goals this season, which shows you how important and crucial he is.
Yeah, top scorer in La Liga and the Champions League.
Without sounding like a Bayern fan again, though, you've got to shout Luis Diaz here in this conversation.
So, as the panel finishes building their Champions League best 11, the final debate moves into the attacking positions. And this is where things really start to heat up. Let's start on the right wing, because one name that keeps coming up is Lamine Yamal. And honestly, it's crazy to think about how young he still is. At just 18 years old, he's already playing with the confidence and creativity of a seasoned superstar. What makes Yamal so special isn't just his dribbling or flair. It's the way he combines elite playmaking with real goal threat. Defenders already know what he wants to do, cutting inside on that left foot. But the scary part is that he's becoming more unpredictable. Now he's mixing it up, going to the byline, creating chances, and improving his finishing as well. When you combine elite creativity with consistent goal contributions, that's the kind of player who can dominate world football for years. Then on the left wing, the conversation naturally turns to Kylian Mbappé. And honestly, leaving Mbappé out of a team like this would be almost impossible. For Real Madrid this season, he's been absolutely crucial. A huge percentage of their goals involve him in some way, whether it's scoring, creating space, or simply dragging defenders out of position.
I think he's got, 14 goals, 11 assists in the Bundesliga alone. And that front, that Kane, Elise, Diaz combination has been frightening. But for you, quite simply, I'm guessing you're putting him on the left because you have to find a position for Mbappe and you've got another 9
exactly,
coming.
Smithy. I feel like you can't leave out Kylian Mbappe in this team. And I think if we were...
That's what separates Mbappe from so many other forwards. His pace, his movement, and his ability to deliver in big moments make him one of the most dangerous attackers in the game. And finally, the striker debate, probably the biggest one of all. Erling Haaland versus Harry Kane. With Haaland, you're talking about one of the most lethal pure number 9s in football. His physical presence, his movement inside the box, and his ability to score from almost any situation make him a nightmare for defenders. But then there's Harry Kane. Year after year, he continues to produce unbelievable numbers. Goals, assists, leadership. He brings everything to the attacking line. Even when you remove penalties from the conversation, his overall goal contributions are still incredible. So in the end, this debate really comes down to preference. Do you want the explosive goal-scoring machine in Haaland or the complete striker profile that Harry Kane offers?